Hello and welcome to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and with me today is Julia. Hey, Julia.
Hi, Jason. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited for today's topic because I know many of our listeners want to improve their English speaking skills.
Yes. And today, we are going to talk about something that can really make a difference in the way you speak English. Speaking clearly and confidently.
Exactly. Speaking clearly helps people understand you easily, and speaking confidently makes you sound natural and fluent. These two skills go hand in hand.
That's right. In this episode, we'll discuss why clarity and confidence matter, common challenges English learners face, and practical tips to improve both.
Plus, we'll share some simple exercises that can help you speak more clearly and feel more confident in your English conversations.
So, if you've ever felt nervous speaking English or struggled with pronunciation, stay with us. This episode is for you.
And by the end of this podcast, you'll have actionable steps to improve your speaking skills.
All right, let's get started. So, Julia, let's start with the big question. Why is it so important to speak English clearly and confidently?
Great question, Jason. When you speak clearly, people understand you without confusion or frustration. If your words are unclear, even if your grammar is perfect, communication becomes difficult.
That's a really good point. I've seen many learners focus only on grammar, but if their pronunciation isn't clear, they still struggle to communicate.
Exactly. And confidence plays a huge role too. If you sound hesitant, nervous, or unsure, people might think you don't know English well, even if you do.
Right. Speaking confidently makes a big difference in how people perceive you. Think about it. When someone speaks with confidence, even if they make small mistakes, we still trust what they're saying.
Yes. And that's why both clarity and confidence are key. If you speak clearly, people understand you. If you speak confidently, people listen to you.
That's so true. And when you speak with confidence, it actually makes you feel more confident too.
Absolutely. It's like a positive cycle. The more confident you sound, the more people respond well to you, and the more confident you become.
I love that. But I know many English learners struggle with these things. Let's talk about some common challenges they face when trying to speak clearly and confidently.
Great idea. Let's dive into that next.
Now that we understand why speaking clearly and confidently is so important, let's talk about some of the common challenges English learners face when trying to improve their speaking skills.
Yes. A lot of learners struggle with pronunciation, mumbling, speaking too fast, and lack of confidence.
That's true. Let's break these down one by one. First, pronunciation. Many English learners find it hard to pronounce certain sounds correctly. Why does that happen?
Well, it's usually because those sounds don't exist in their native language. For example, many learners have trouble with sounds like th in think or r, and l in words like right and light.
That makes sense. And if they don't practice, they might keep pronouncing those words incorrectly, which makes their speech unclear.
Exactly. And then there's mumbling. Some learners speak too softly or don't open their mouths enough, which makes their words unclear.
Oh, yes. I've heard many learners swallow their words or speak in a way that's hard to understand.
Right. And sometimes learners speak too fast because they're nervous or trying to sound fluent, but speaking too fast can actually make them less clear.
That's a great point. I always tell learners that slowing down actually makes them sound more natural and confident.
Exactly. And of course, the biggest challenge is lack of confidence. Many learners are afraid of making mistakes, so they hesitate, avoid speaking, or speak in a very low voice.
I totally get that. The fear of being judged or making mistakes can really hold people back.
Yes, but mistakes are a natural part of learning. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes.
That's true. So, now that we know these challenges, the big question is, How can learners improve their pronunciation and speak more clearly?
Great question. Let's talk about some practical techniques to improve clarity in speaking.
Now that we know the common challenges, let's talk about how to improve pronunciation and speak more clearly. Julia, what's the first thing English learners should focus on?
The first and most important thing is listening carefully. If you want to pronounce words correctly, you need to hear how native speakers say them.
That's a great point. So, listening to podcasts, audiobooks, movies, and conversations can really help learners recognize correct pronunciation.
Exactly. And not just listening, mimicking what native speakers say is a powerful exercise. It's called shadowing.
Oh, yes. Shadowing means listening to a sentence and immediately repeating it, trying to copy the pronunciation and rhythm.
Right. This helps with pronunciation, intonation, and fluency. Learners can start with short phrases and slowly work their way up to full sentences.
That's an amazing tip. What about difficult sounds like th in think or r and l in right and light?
Great question. To improve tricky sounds, learners need targeted pronunciation practice. They can do this by watching YouTube videos on pronunciation, using online dictionaries that have audio for words, practicing with tongue twisters like "She sells seashells by the seashore."
Oh, tongue twisters are so much fun. They help train the mouth to pronounce sounds correctly.
Exactly. And another tip is speaking slowly and clearly. Many learners think speaking fast makes them sound fluent, but actually it can make them less clear.
That's so true. Slowing down gives your mouth time to form words properly. It also gives your listener time to understand you.
Yes. And another technique is recording yourself. When you record your voice and listen to it, you can hear what needs improvement.
That's a great self-improvement trick. You can compare your pronunciation with native speakers and make small adjustments.
Right. And the last tip, open your mouth more when you speak. Some learners mumble because they don't move their lips enough.
Yes, opening your mouth and pronouncing every sound clearly makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. So let's summarize. 1. Listen to native speakers. 2. Shadow and repeat what you hear. 3. Practice difficult sounds using tongue twisters. 4. Slow down and focus on clarity. 5. Record yourself to check your pronunciation. 6. Open your mouth and articulate sounds properly.
Those are excellent strategies. Now that we've covered pronunciation and clarity, let's move on to how to build confidence while speaking.
Yes, because even with great pronunciation, if you're not confident, speaking can still feel difficult. Let's dive into that next.
Now that we've talked about improving pronunciation and clarity, let's move on to another key topic: building confidence in speaking. Julia, why do you think confidence is so important when speaking English?
Well, Jason, confidence makes a huge difference in how people communicate. Even if someone has good grammar and vocabulary, if they sound nervous or unsure, their message won't be as strong.
That's so true. Many learners know what to say but hesitate because they're afraid of making mistakes.
Exactly. And the first thing I always tell learners is, making mistakes is part of learning. Even native speakers make mistakes, so don't be afraid to speak.
I love that. No one speaks perfectly all the time, but I know confidence doesn't just appear overnight. What are some practical ways learners can build confidence in speaking?
Great question. Here are some effective strategies. Practice speaking every day. The more you practice, the more natural speaking becomes. Even just 5 to 10 minutes a day can make a big difference. Talk to yourself in English. Describe what you're doing, your plans for the day, or even your thoughts. It helps develop fluency.
That's a great tip. Speaking to yourself removes the fear of judgment and helps you get comfortable with English.
Exactly. Another strategy is thinking in English. Instead of translating from your native language, try to form sentences directly in English.
Oh, that's so important. Thinking in English makes speaking faster and more natural.
Yes, and another powerful technique is recording yourself. We talked about this for pronunciation, but it also builds confidence. When you listen to your recordings, you realize you sound better than you thought.
That's true. Many learners feel nervous because they think they sound bad. But when they listen to themselves, they realize they're actually improving.
Right. Another tip is practicing with a mirror. When you see yourself speaking, you can improve your body language, facial expressions, and overall confidence.
Oh, I love that. Confident body language makes you feel more confident, and that shows in your speech.
Yes, and of course, one of the best ways to build confidence is speaking with real people.
Absolutely. Whether it's a language exchange partner, a teacher, or even a friend, speaking with others helps you get used to real conversations.
Exactly. And if you don't have a partner, you can even use apps or join online speaking groups to practice.
That's a great idea. And I have one more tip. Don't compare yourself to others. Everyone learns at their own pace. Focus on your progress, not perfection.
That's so important. Comparing yourself can make you feel discouraged. Instead, celebrate your small wins and keep improving step by step.
Perfect. So, let's summarize the top confidence-building tips. 1. Practice speaking daily, even for just 5 to 10 minutes. 2. Talk to yourself. Describe things in English. Think in English. Stop translating. Record yourself. Hear your own progress. Use a mirror. Improve body language. Speak with real people. Join groups or language partners. 7. Don't compare yourself to others. Focus on your progress.
Those are fantastic tips. If learners follow them consistently, they will definitely feel more confident speaking English.
Absolutely. Now, to wrap things up, let's give our listeners some final actionable steps they can start using today.
Great idea. Let's do that next.
Now that we've talked about how to improve pronunciation and build confidence, let's give our listeners some practical exercises they can start using today. Julia, what's the first exercise you'd recommend?
One of the best exercises is shadowing. We mentioned this earlier, but let's explain exactly how to do it.
Great idea. So, shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating what they say as quickly and accurately as possible.
Right. You can use podcasts, audiobooks, or YouTube videos. Just pick a short sentence, play it, pause, and repeat it exactly the same way.
This helps with pronunciation, rhythm, and fluency. Start with slow speech and gradually increase your speed.
Yes. Another great exercise is reading aloud. Pick an article, a short story, or even song lyrics and read them out loud with clear pronunciation.
That's a simple but powerful technique. It helps you practice intonation and clarity without the pressure of forming your own sentences.
Exactly. And to improve intonation and expression, try acting out dialogues. Choose a script, a book passage, or a movie scene and read it with emotion and expression.
Oh, that's a fun one. It makes speaking feel more natural.
Yes. And another exercise is recording yourself. We've mentioned this before, but let's break it down into steps. 1. Choose a topic and speak about it for 1 minute. 2. Record yourself using your phone or a recording app. 3. Listen to your recording and note areas for improvement. 4. Try again, focusing on better pronunciation and confidence.
That's such a practical method. The more you record and review yourself, the more comfortable you'll become.
Right. And here's another one, the mirror method. Stand in front of a mirror, pick a topic, and speak to yourself. Watch your facial expressions, body language, and how your mouth moves.
That's an amazing exercise. It helps you look and feel more confident while speaking.
Yes, And for pronunciation improvement, use tongue twisters. Try saying, "She sells seashells by the seashore." Red lorry, yellow lorry. The 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne throughout Thursday.
Oh, wow. Those are challenging, but they help with tricky sounds and fluency.
Exactly. And here's one last powerful exercise, impromptu speaking.
Oh, this one is great for confidence. So, how does it work?
Set a timer for 1 or 2 minutes. Choose a random topic like my daily routine, my favorite movie, or a dream vacation, and start speaking without preparation.
That really pushes learners to think and speak in English quickly, without overthinking.
Yes, it's a great way to build fluency and confidence.
These exercises are simple, fun, and effective. Let's quickly summarize. 1. Shadowing repeat after a native speaker. 2. Reading aloud. Improve clarity and intonation. 3. Acting out dialogues. Practice expressive speaking. 4. Recording yourself. Listen and improve. 5. Mirror method. Watch yourself speak. 6. Tongue twisters. Train your mouth for tricky sounds. 7. Impromptu speaking. Speak on a random topic with no preparation.
If learners practice these exercises consistently, they'll definitely speak English more clearly and confidently.
Absolutely. Now, let's move on to the final actionable steps and conclusion. We've covered so many great tips today, but there's one last important topic: how to stay motivated and keep improving. Julia, what's the biggest challenge learners face when trying to stay motivated?
I think one big challenge is feeling stuck or not seeing quick progress. Many learners expect to improve overnight, and when they don't, they feel frustrated.
That's so true. But learning English is like going to the gym. Progress takes time, and consistency is key.
Exactly. That's why learners need to celebrate small wins. Even if you learn one new word today or speak for 5 minutes without hesitation, that's progress.
Yes. And another great way to stay motivated is to set realistic goals. Instead of saying, "I want to be fluent," try setting small goals like, "I will practice speaking for 10 minutes every day." "I will learn 5 new words this week." "I will have 1 conversation in English this weekend."
I love that. Small goals keep you motivated because you see progress step by step.
Absolutely. And another tip: make English learning fun. If studying feels boring, try watching English movies, listening to music, or playing language games.
Yes, learning doesn't have to be only books and grammar. Find a way to enjoy the process.
And speaking of fun, learning with friends or a community can also boost motivation.
Oh, yes. Join an online language group, a conversation club, or even find a speaking partner. Learning with others makes it exciting.
100%. And here's my last tip: don't fear mistakes. Every mistake is a lesson. The more mistakes you make, the more you learn.
Yes, no one speaks perfectly in the beginning. The key is to keep going and never give up.
So, let's summarize how to stay motivated. 1. Celebrate small win. Every step counts. 2. Set realistic goals. Focus on small, achievable targets. 3. Make learning fun. Watch movies, listen to music, and play games. 4. Join a community. Learn with friends or online groups. 5. Don't fear mistakes. Mistakes help you grow.
If learners follow these tips, they'll stay motivated and keep improving every day.
Absolutely. Now, let's wrap up everything we've learned today in our final conclusion. Wow, we've covered so much today. From speaking clearly and confidently to staying motivated, there's a lot that learners can start practicing right away.
Yes, we talked about why clarity and confidence matter, common challenges, pronunciation tips, confidence-building strategies, practical exercises, and motivation techniques.
That's right. And remember, improving your English takes time and consistent practice. Don't rush the process. Enjoy it.
Exactly. So here's a quick challenge for you, our listeners. Pick one exercise from today's episode and practice it for the next 3 days. Leave a comment below telling us which one you chose and how it helped you.
That's a great challenge. And if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with your friends.
Yes, also check out our other episodes for more English learning tips and conversations.
Keep practicing, stay confident, and remember, you can speak English clearly and confidently.
We believe in you. Thanks for listening and see you in the next episode.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. We're so excited to have you here today.
Today, we're diving into a topic that many English learners ask us about: how to speak English fluently. It's something that can feel challenging, but totally possible with the right approach.
Absolutely. Fluency doesn't mean speaking perfectly or without mistakes. It means speaking smoothly and confidently enough to be understood easily in everyday conversations.
Right, Julia. And in this episode, we're going to talk about what fluency really means, why it can be hard to achieve, and most importantly, practical tips and real examples to help you improve your fluency step by step.
We'll also do some role plays to show you natural ways to speak English in common situations, plus interactive exercises so you can practice along with us.
If you've ever felt stuck, nervous, or unsure when speaking English, this episode is for you. We'll share simple but effective strategies to help you sound more natural and confident.
So, whether you're at home, at work, or out with friends, by the end of this episode, you'll have new tools to make your English conversations smoother and more enjoyable.
Great. So, let's get started on your journey to speaking English. All right, Julia. Before we jump into tips, let's talk about some common challenges learners face when trying to speak English fluently. What do you think is the biggest struggle for most people?
Oh, there are quite a few, Jason, but I'd say one of the biggest is fear of making mistakes. Many learners worry that if they say something wrong, people will judge them.
Yes, I hear that a lot. It's normal to want to be perfect, but the truth is, mistakes are part of learning. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes.
Exactly. Another challenge is lack of confidence. Sometimes learners know the words but feel shy or nervous to speak out loud.
Right. That nervous feeling can make your mind go blank, or cause you to speak slowly, or stop altogether.
And there's also the problem of thinking in your native language instead of English. When you translate in your head, it slows down your speaking and makes it harder to sound natural.
Yes, when you think directly in English, it helps you respond faster and use the right words naturally.
Also, some learners struggle because they don't practice speaking enough. Maybe they listen or read a lot, but they don't get many chances to speak out loud.
That's a big one. Speaking is a skill like playing an instrument or a sport. You have to practice regularly to improve.
And finally, some learners focus too much on grammar rules or individual words instead of learning useful phrases and expressions that people really use in conversation.
Good point. Grammar is important, but focusing only on grammar can make you overthink and slow down your speech.
So, to sum up, the main challenges are fear of mistakes, lack of confidence, thinking in your native language, not practicing enough, and focusing too much on grammar instead of real conversation.
That's a great summary, Julia. But don't worry, because later in this episode, we'll share tips to overcome all these challenges.
Exactly. Remember, everyone learns at their own pace. The key is to keep trying and practicing, even when it feels hard.
Yes, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how you grow.
So true. All right, are you ready to hear about the key factors that really help build fluency?
Absolutely. Let's jump into that next. All right, Julia, now that we know the common challenges, let's talk about the key factors that actually help you build fluency. What do you think is the most important?
I believe practice is the number one factor, Jason. You can learn all the grammar and vocabulary, but if you don't practice speaking regularly, it's hard to become fluent.
Absolutely. Practice helps train your brain and mouth to work together smoothly. Even just a few minutes of speaking each day can make a big difference.
Another important factor is listening. Listening to native speakers helps you get used to the sounds, rhythm, and flow of English.
Right. When you listen a lot, you start to recognize common phrases and expressions. That makes it easier to use them naturally when you speak.
Yes, and don't forget thinking in English. This is a big step because if you always translate from your native language, it slows down your speech.
That's so true. Thinking directly in English helps you respond faster and speak more confidently.
Also, learning chunks or phrases instead of just individual words can really boost your fluency. When you memorize phrases like, "How are you doing?" or "Can I help you?" you don't have to build sentences from scratch every time.
Good point, Julia. Phrases are like building blocks. The more blocks you know, the easier it is to speak smoothly.
And one more factor: confidence. It's important to believe in yourself and not worry too much about mistakes. The more confident you are, the easier it is to speak freely.
Absolutely. Confidence comes with practice and positive thinking.
So to sum up, practice speaking regularly, listen a lot, think in English, learn useful phrases, and build your confidence.
That's a great list, Julia. If you focus on these key factors, you'll see your fluency improve step by step.
And in the next part of our podcast, we'll show you these ideas in action with some real conversations.
Perfect. Let's get into our first role play. All right, Julia. Let's jump into our first role play. Imagine you meet a new friend at a park. I'll be the new friend, and you can be yourself.
Sounds fun. I'm ready.
Hi, I don't think we've met before. I'm Jason. What's your name?
Hi, Jason. I'm Julia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Julia. Do you come to this park often?
Yes, I try to come here every morning. It's a great place to relax and practice English.
That's cool. Are you learning English?
Yes, I am. I want to speak fluently so I can talk with more people and travel easily.
That's a great goal. How do you practice speaking English?
I listen to podcasts, watch videos, and try to speak with friends. Sometimes I even talk to myself.
Haha, that's a good idea. Talking to yourself can help you practice without pressure.
Exactly. And I try to learn useful phrases and use them in conversations.
That's smart. So, what's your favorite English phrase right now?
I like "How's it going?" because it's casual and easy to use with friends.
Nice. I'll use that one too. Well, Julia, it was great talking with you.
Thanks, Jason. It was nice meeting you.
See you around.
That was a simple, friendly conversation that anyone can practice. Notice how we used short sentences and common phrases like, "What's your name?" and "How's it going?"
Yes, and the flow was natural with pauses to think, but no long breaks. This is the kind of speaking you should aim for.
Right. It's okay to take a moment before answering, but keep the conversation moving.
Great! Up next, we'll break down some of the useful phrases from this role play. All right, Julia, let's talk about some useful phrases we used in that role play with a new friend. These are great to know and practice because you'll hear and use them all the time.
Yes. The first phrase is, "I don't think we've met before." It's a polite way to introduce yourself when meeting someone new.
Right. It's softer than just saying, "We haven't met." It shows friendliness and starts the conversation nicely.
Next is, "Do you come to this park often?" This is a common way to ask if someone visits a place regularly. It's a good way to find common interests.
Exactly. You can change it to other places too, like, "Do you come to this cafe often?" Or "Do you visit this library often?"
Another phrase is, "Are you learning English?" It's a simple question but important because it shows interest and invites the other person to talk about themselves.
Yes? And following that, how do you practice speaking English? Is a great way to learn about someone's study habits and share tips.
We also used "How's it going?" That's a very casual way to ask, "How are you?" It's friendly and common in everyday conversations.
It's perfect for informal chats with friends or people your own age.
And finally, "See you around" is a casual way to say goodbye when you expect to meet again sometime.
Right! It's less formal than goodbye, but warm and friendly.
So, by learning these phrases, you get comfortable speaking English naturally without worrying about grammar too much.
Exactly. Try to memorize these phrases and use them in your daily conversations.
And remember, it's okay to pause and think before you speak. Practice makes perfect.
All right, next we'll show another common real-life situation with a new role play.
Can't wait, let's go.
All right, Julia. For our next role play, let's imagine you're in a new city and need to ask someone for directions. I'll be the person you ask.
Sounds good, I'm ready. Excuse me, could you please help me? I'm looking for the city library. Do you know where it is?
Sure. The city library is not far from here. Walk straight down this street for 2 blocks, then turn left at the traffic light.
Okay, walk straight for 2 blocks, then left at the traffic light. Got it.
After you turn left, you'll see the library on your right. It's a big building with glass windows.
Thank you so much. How long does it take to get there?
It should take about 10 minutes on foot.
Great. Thanks again for your help.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye. That was a helpful conversation. Notice how I used polite phrases like "excuse me" and "could you please help me" to be polite and respectful.
Yes, and the directions were clear and easy to understand. With simple steps like walk straight, turn left, and you'll see.
Exactly. When you ask for help or directions, it's good to repeat the instructions to make sure you understand.
That's right. And don't forget to thank the person. It makes the conversation friendly and positive.
Perfect. Up next, we'll share some tips on how to sound more natural when speaking English.
Let's do it. All right, Julia. Now that we've seen some real conversations, let's talk about how to sound more natural when you speak English. What do you think is one key tip?
I think one important tip is to pay attention to your intonation. That means the rise and fall of your voice when you speak.
Exactly. English isn't just about words. It's about how you say them. Intonation helps show your emotions and makes your speech more interesting.
For example, when you ask a question, your voice usually rises at the end, like, "Are you coming?" See how my voice goes up?
Yes. And when you make a statement, your voice usually goes down at the end, like, "I'm coming." That helps listeners understand your meaning.
Another tip is to focus on rhythm and stress. English words have stressed syllables, and sentences have important words that get more emphasis.
Right. For example, in the sentence "I want to go to the store," the words "want," "go," and "store" are stressed because they carry the main meaning.
That's why it's important not to pronounce every word with the same emphasis. It makes your English sound more natural and easier to understand.
Also, don't be afraid to pause sometimes. Natural speakers pause to think or to give the listener time to understand.
Yes, pausing helps you speak clearly and avoid rushing. It's better than speaking too fast and making mistakes.
Lastly, try to link words together smoothly. Instead of stopping between every word, connect them like native speakers do. For example, "What are you doing?" Sounds like "watch doing?"
Great tip! Listening to native speakers can help you hear these patterns and practice copying them.
So, remember, intonation, rhythm, stress, pausing, and linking words are all key to sounding natural.
Keep practicing these tips, and your English will start to sound more like a native speaker's.
All right, next up, let's get listeners involved with a fun fluency drill. All right, Julia, now it's time for some interactive practice. Listeners, get ready to speak out loud with us.
That's right. We'll say some common English phrases slowly and you repeat after us. This will help with your pronunciation and fluency.
Let's start easy. Repeat after me. How are you?
Great. Now say it again, a little faster. How are you?
Nice. Here's another one. What's your name?
Try saying it with a natural rhythm. What's your name?
Now this one is very useful. Can you help me?
Repeat it again, but sound polite. Can you help me, please?
Here's a longer phrase. Repeat after us. I'm learning English to speak fluently.
Say it slowly first. I'm learning English to speak fluently.
Now try it a bit faster. Like a natural conversation, I'm learning English to speak fluently.
Awesome. Remember, practice like this every day will help your fluency a lot.
Exactly. Keep repeating and don't worry about mistakes.
All right, listeners, keep practicing with us and soon you'll feel more confident speaking English.
Great job, everyone. Up next, we have a special challenge for you. All right, Julia, now it's time for our listener challenge.
Yes, this challenge is simple but powerful. We want you to speak English out loud for at least 1 minute every day.
That's right. Just 1 minute. Talk about anything you like. It could be your day, your plans, or what you're thinking about.
The important thing is to practice speaking regularly. Even 1 minute a day builds your confidence and helps your brain get used to English.
If you're nervous, don't worry. Start by speaking slowly and using simple sentences. It's okay to make mistakes.
You can even record yourself and listen later. This helps you notice areas to improve and track your progress.
Remember, consistency is key. Doing a little bit every day is better than doing a lot only once in a while.
So, start your 1 minute speaking challenge today. We believe in you.
And if you want, share your progress with us on social media using the hashtag #EnglishFluencyChallenge.
We'd love to hear from you.
All right, let's keep going. Up next, some final thoughts and motivation to help you stay on track. Well, Julia, we've covered a lot today about how to speak English fluently. Before we finish, let's remind our listeners of the most important points.
Definitely, Jason. First, fluency doesn't mean perfection. It's about speaking smoothly and confidently, even if you make mistakes.
Right. Don't let fear of mistakes stop you from practicing. Every mistake is a step forward in your learning.
And remember to practice regularly. Whether it's listening, speaking, or repeating phrases, consistency is what builds fluency.
Thinking in English and learning useful phrases will help your speaking sound more natural and easier.
Don't forget to focus on your confidence, believe in yourself, and celebrate your progress, no matter how small.
It's a journey, not a race. Keep patient and kind to yourself as you improve day by day.
And most importantly, enjoy the process. Find fun ways to practice, like talking with friends, watching movies, or listening to music.
Absolutely. The more you enjoy it, the easier and faster you'll improve.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. We hope you feel inspired and ready to practice your English fluently.
Yes! Keep speaking, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself.
We'll see you in the next episode with more tips and conversations.
Take care, everyone. Bye. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason, and today we've got an exciting topic that I know will make a big difference in your life. We're going to talk about how speaking English can truly change your life. It's not just about learning a language, it's about unlocking new opportunities and transforming your personal and professional world.
That's right, Jason. English is a global language, and whether you're looking to advance your career, make new friends, or travel the world speaking English, can open doors that you might not have even thought possible. And for all of you tuning in today, we'll explore how learning and speaking English can give you confidence, improve your job prospects, and help you grow in ways you might not expect.
Exactly. We'll also talk about some real-life examples of how English has changed lives. And I'll share some practical tips on how you can start improving your speaking skills right away. Whether you're a beginner or looking to polish your English, this episode is packed with valuable insights.
So, grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and get ready to learn how speaking English can be a game changer for you. By the end of this episode, we hope you'll be inspired to take the next step in your English learning journey.
All right, let's dive in and talk about why speaking English really is such a game changer. Julia, I know you've seen firsthand how English can open up so many possibilities, right?
Speaking English is more than just knowing how to communicate with people from different countries. It's about connecting with the world around you. Think about it. English is the language of international business, travel, science, and even entertainment. It's everywhere. Whether you're reading an article online, watching a movie, or traveling abroad, understanding English opens up a world of possibilities.
Exactly, Julia. In fact, English is often referred to as the global language. It's the bridge between different cultures, and knowing it can instantly connect you to people from all over the world. It's not just about understanding words, it's about understanding each other. Imagine traveling to a country where you don't speak the local language, but you can still communicate in English. That ability can make all the difference in your experience.
I totally agree. And speaking from a personal experience, Jason, I can tell you that speaking English has allowed me to interact with people from so many different countries. It's like having a key to unlock a new world of ideas, experiences, and even friendships. You don't just hear about different cultures, you get to engage with them, learn about their way of life, and see things from a completely new perspective.
That's such a great point, Julia. And think about how this applies in everyday life. You're at a cafe in Paris, and someone at the next table is trying to speak with the waiter, but the language barrier is making it difficult. Now, imagine you're the person who can step in and help out because you speak English. Not only does it feel amazing to be able to assist, but it's also a perfect example of how speaking English gives you the confidence to handle any situation that comes your way.
Absolutely. And it's not just about travel. In the workplace, English is often the common language for collaboration, even if you're not in an English-speaking country. Companies worldwide use English for meetings, emails, and even conferences. So, having the ability to speak English can set you apart from others, giving you a competitive edge. You'll feel more confident in meetings, networking events, and even when applying for jobs.
That's a huge point, Julia. Speaking English doesn't just help you in your personal life, it can completely transform your career. You'll have access to more job opportunities, better chances of promotion, and the ability to network with people from across the globe. All of these things are incredibly valuable, and they come when you can speak English confidently.
It's true, and it's important to remember that learning English doesn't happen overnight, but the benefits, both personal and professional, make the effort worth it. So for anyone listening, whether you're starting out or trying to improve, just know that mastering English can have a profound impact on your life.
Absolutely. So, now that we've talked about how speaking English can open so many doors, let's dive a bit deeper into how it can specifically boost your career and personal growth. Julia, have you seen any examples where speaking English has really made a difference for people's careers? Let's dive into one of the biggest advantages of speaking English, how it can transform your career. I think many people underestimate how much speaking English can boost their professional opportunities. But the truth is, in today's globalized world, English is often seen as a key skill that can help you advance in your career.
Definitely. Whether you're working for a local company or an international organization, being able to communicate in English is a huge asset. Let's say you're applying for a job. Companies often look for candidates who can speak English fluently because it allows them to communicate with clients, suppliers, or colleagues from all around the world. That's a major advantage when it comes to standing out in a competitive job market.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the opportunities that come with being able to travel for work. Many companies today are multinational, and they require employees who can communicate across borders. If you speak English, you might be the person chosen to travel, represent your company, or lead international meetings. All of these experiences can help you grow both personally and professionally.
And there's also the point about career progression. When you're fluent in English, you're more likely to be considered for higher-level positions, especially if the company operates internationally. Whether it's in marketing, finance, technology, or any other industry, English-speaking employees are often given more responsibility because they can communicate effectively with people from other countries. It really can open doors to promotions.
Exactly, Julia. And there's a broader impact, too. When you're confident in your ability to speak English, it affects your entire work ethic. You're more likely to take on challenges, participate in discussions, and contribute in meetings. You're not held back by the fear of making mistakes or not being understood. You're able to communicate your ideas clearly and confidently.
That's a great point, Jason. I've seen this firsthand with people I know who have improved their English skills. They become more assertive in meetings, they get noticed by management, and they're seen as leaders. Speaking English doesn't just help you do your job better, it helps you excel at your job.
And it's not just about the corporate world either. Freelancers and entrepreneurs, for example, can leverage their English skills to attract clients from around the world. With English being the language of the internet, you can reach potential customers, partners, or collaborators who may not speak your native language. Whether you're building a brand or offering services, speaking English opens up the global market.
Yes, and let's also talk about networking. When you attend conferences, webinars, or industry events, English is often the common language. If you can speak English well, you can network with people from all over the world, exchange ideas, and build relationships that could be invaluable for your career. It's all about connecting, and English makes those connections easier.
Right. And it's also worth noting that many industries have standardized their training and resources in English. Whether it's reading technical manuals, attending online courses, or staying up to date with the latest industry trends, most of this content is in English. So having the ability to understand it gives you a clear advantage in keeping up with the latest developments in your field.
Exactly. And even if your company doesn't operate internationally, you might find yourself working with clients or suppliers who prefer to communicate in English. In those situations, being able to speak the language not only makes things easier, but can also help build trust and credibility with those clients.
All of this just goes to show how English isn't just a nice skill to have. It's essential for career growth in today's interconnected world. The more proficient you are, the more doors open for you, whether it's in your current job or future opportunities.
Absolutely. So, if you're wondering how to get started or improve your English to take advantage of these career opportunities, stick with us because we'll be talking about practical tips and strategies in the next segment.
That's right. We're going to dive into how you can start speaking English more confidently, whether you're a beginner or looking to improve your fluency. But before that, let's take a quick break and think about how speaking English can boost your confidence in other aspects of your life.
Now that we've talked about the professional benefits of speaking English, let's shift gears and explore how it can affect your personal growth and confidence. For many learners, the idea of speaking English often feels intimidating. But the truth is, learning and speaking a new language like English can have an incredible impact on your self-esteem and overall confidence.
Absolutely, Julia. When you start speaking English, you're stepping out of your comfort zone. And every time you speak, whether it's to a friend, a colleague, or even a stranger, you're challenging yourself to grow. That sense of achievement when you can communicate effectively is so rewarding, and it builds your confidence over time.
I totally agree. Think about how empowering it is to express yourself in a language that is not your native one. You might be nervous at first, but as you practice, you realize you can get your message across, and you start feeling more confident in yourself and your abilities. It's a real confidence booster.
That's a great point. And confidence doesn't just come from speaking English in a classroom or formal setting. It can also come from social situations. For example, if you're traveling and you can speak English with someone, it's not just about exchanging information. It's about connecting with another human being, overcoming language barriers, and building new relationships. Each time you do that, your confidence grows.
Exactly. And the best part is that confidence spills over into other areas of your life, too. When you're comfortable speaking English, you'll start feeling more confident in other situations. Maybe you'll feel braver about asking for something you need, sharing your thoughts in a meeting, or even approaching someone you'd like to get to know. You become more comfortable asserting yourself in any situation, not just in English.
That's such an important point, Julia. Learning a new language is really about learning to trust yourself. Trusting that you can communicate. Trust that you can express your ideas. And trust that even if you make a mistake, it's okay. It's all part of the process. And when you make that leap, you'll notice that your confidence starts to grow not just in speaking English, but in everything else you do.
And let's talk about how learning English can improve your mental agility, too. Studies have shown that learning a second language boosts cognitive skills like problem solving, multitasking, and memory. The more you practice speaking English, the sharper your brain becomes, and you become more flexible in how you approach challenges. It's like giving your brain a good workout.
That's a really good point, Julia. And when your brain is sharp, your confidence goes up. You become more adept at thinking on your feet, whether you're solving problems at work, negotiating a deal, or even navigating through daily life situations. Speaking English also helps you think critically, which means you're more able to process complex ideas, make decisions, and adapt to new situations with ease.
And what's amazing is that this personal growth happens at your own pace. It doesn't matter where you start, it's the consistent effort that leads to big changes. So, whether you're just beginning or you've been learning for a while, don't compare yourself to others. Your progress is personal, and every step forward is a victory.
Exactly, Julia. And the beauty of it is, the more you practice speaking English, the more you'll see those changes in yourself. And that confidence will ripple out into other areas of your life, from the workplace to social situations to even your relationship with yourself. So, for anyone listening, remember that it's not just about speaking English, it's about the growth that comes along with it.
I love that, Jason. It's about building confidence in yourself as a whole. And as we'll talk about next, overcoming the fear of speaking English is a big part of that journey.
Right. Speaking English doesn't always come easy, and we know that fear can hold people back. But overcoming that fear is an essential part of growing as a person. Let's talk about that next, and share some tips on how to break through that barrier.
All right, Jason. Now that we've explored how speaking English can boost your confidence and personal growth, let's talk about something that a lot of English learners struggle with. Fear. The fear of speaking in English can be paralyzing, and it's something that many of us have faced at one point or another. But the truth is, overcoming that fear is absolutely possible.
Definitely, Julia. And it's important to acknowledge that the fear of speaking English is completely normal. When you're learning a new language, especially one that isn't your native tongue, it's easy to feel self-conscious about making mistakes or being misunderstood. But here's the thing, making mistakes is a natural part of learning. In fact, it's one of the best ways to learn and grow.
I couldn't agree more. The key is to shift your mindset. Instead of fearing mistakes, start seeing them as learning opportunities. Every time you make a mistake, you're one step closer to improving. The more you speak, the more comfortable you'll become with making mistakes and correcting them. It's all part of the process.
Exactly, Julia. And I think one of the biggest fears people have is sounding wrong or not fluent enough. But fluency doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice, patience, and perseverance. So, if you make a mistake, it's okay. Everyone who speaks English as a second language has made mistakes along the way. The important thing is that you keep speaking and improving.
That's right. And one thing that really helped me when I was overcoming my fear was practicing in a safe space, whether that's with a close friend, a language partner, or even in front of a mirror. It helps to start small and build your confidence gradually. The more you speak in these safe settings, the more comfortable you'll feel when you speak in public or in real-life situations.
Great point, Julia. It's all about building up your confidence one step at a time. And if you're afraid of speaking because you're worried about being judged, remember that most people will appreciate your effort. Most native English speakers understand that you're learning, and they'll be patient with you. In fact, they'll often admire the fact that you're putting in the effort to speak their language.
Exactly. And another helpful tip is to focus on the message you're trying to communicate, not just on the words or grammar. Sometimes we get so caught up in getting the perfect sentence that we forget the most important thing is getting our point across. If the message is clear, people will understand, even if there are some small mistakes along the way.
That's such an important reminder, Julia. If you focus too much on perfection, it can actually make you more nervous and stop you from speaking altogether. Instead, try to be more focused on communication and the connection you're making with the person you're speaking to.
Yes. And one final thing I'll say is that the fear of speaking often comes from being in your head too much. The more you practice, the more you start to trust yourself. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there, even if it's uncomfortable at first. Take the leap and trust that you'll get better with time.
Absolutely, Julia. Overcoming the fear of speaking is all about taking action. It might feel intimidating at first, but as you practice, you'll notice that fear slowly disappears. The more you speak, the more confident you'll become. And eventually, speaking English will feel just as natural as speaking your native language.
I love that. So, for anyone listening, remember, don't let fear hold you back. Embrace the process, make mistakes, and keep going. You'll be amazed at how much progress you can make when you push past that fear.
Exactly. Keep speaking, keep practicing, and trust the journey. We'll be back in just a moment with some practical tips on how to start speaking English more confidently, so stay tuned.
Now that we've tackled overcoming the fear of speaking, let's dive into some practical tips that can help you improve your English speaking skills. These tips are simple but highly effective, and they'll make a big difference in how you speak English every day.
That's right, Julia. The key to improving your speaking skills is consistent practice and using the language in real-life situations. So, let's start with one of the most important tips. Practice speaking every day. Even if it's just for a few minutes a day, speaking regularly will help you become more comfortable and confident with the language.
Absolutely. You can practice speaking English by talking to a language partner, a friend, or even just speaking to yourself. One thing I used to do was talk about my day in English, describing what I was doing or what I planned to do. It's a great way to get into the habit of thinking in English, and it doesn't feel like a formal practice, it's just part of your daily routine.
That's such a great tip, Julia. And another helpful method is shadowing. Shadowing is when you listen to a native speaker, maybe through a podcast, movie, or TV show, and repeat what they say, trying to mimic their pronunciation, tone, and rhythm. It helps improve your fluency and gives you a chance to hear the natural flow of English.
Exactly. And the more you shadow, the more you start to sound natural, like a native speaker. But here's another tip that's super effective: record yourself speaking. This might feel a little strange at first, but it's a great way to track your progress and identify areas where you can improve. You might notice that some words or sounds are harder for you to pronounce, and you can work on those specific areas.
Recording yourself is so powerful because it gives you an opportunity to listen to how you sound and compare it with native speakers. You can also use apps or language platforms that allow you to practice and get feedback on your pronunciation.
Yes, and speaking of apps, another helpful tip is to use language learning apps like Duolingo, Babel, or HelloTalk. These apps often have speaking exercises that can help you improve your pronunciation, vocabulary, and fluency. Plus, some of them allow you to interact with other learners, so you can practice speaking with people around the world.
That's a great resource. And watching TV shows and movies in English is another fun and effective way to improve. Try watching with subtitles first, then slowly challenge yourself to watch without them. This helps you get used to how English sounds in real conversations, and you'll pick up common phrases and expressions that you can use in your own speech.
Exactly. And if you find certain words or phrases difficult, don't be afraid to repeat them over and over until they feel natural. The more you practice these tricky words, the more comfortable you'll become with them.
And lastly, don't be afraid to make mistakes when practicing. This is something we've touched on before, but it's important to remind ourselves that mistakes are part of the process. The more you speak, the more mistakes you'll make, but you'll also learn from them and improve over time.
Definitely. And one more thing I'll add is join a language group or community. There are so many online forums, Facebook groups, and language meetups where you can practice speaking English with other learners or native speakers. Surrounding yourself with a community of people who are also learning makes the process much more enjoyable and motivating.
Great advice, Julia. So, to recap, here are our top tips for improving your English speaking. 1. Practice speaking every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. 2. Try shadowing native speakers to improve your fluency. 3. Record yourself speaking and track your progress. 4. Use language apps to practice speaking and get feedback. 5. Watch TV shows and movies in English to get used to natural conversations. 6. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're part of the learning process. 7. Join a language group or community to practice with others.
Exactly. With these tips, you'll be speaking English more confidently and naturally in no time. The key is to stay consistent, practice regularly, and most importantly, enjoy the learning process.
That's right, Julia. And with all that said, remember that speaking English is a skill that improves over time. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and soon enough, you'll see a big difference in your speaking abilities. Let's take a short break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up with a final message on how speaking English truly can change your life.
Well, Jason, we've covered a lot today. From overcoming the fear of speaking English to practical tips for improving your speaking skills, I think we've given our listeners a solid roadmap to start speaking English confidently and consistently.
Absolutely, Julia. We've discussed how speaking English can truly be a game changer in your personal and professional life. Whether it's boosting your career opportunities, building your confidence, or connecting with people from all over the world, speaking English can open so many doors. It's not just about learning a language. It's about improving yourself and your life in ways you might not have even imagined.
And don't forget, everyone, learning a new language is a journey. There will be challenges along the way, but every step forward brings you closer to your goals. So, take it one day at a time, practice consistently, and most importantly, keep speaking.
Exactly. And to everyone listening, We encourage you to start putting these tips into action. Whether it's practicing speaking every day, shadowing native speakers, or joining a community of learners, take that first step today. The more you speak, the more you'll improve. And soon you'll realize just how powerful speaking English can be for changing your life.
We'd love to hear about your experiences. So don't forget to comment below or connect with us on social media and let us know how speaking English has made a difference in your life. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more helpful tips and strategies for learning English.
That's right. If you found this podcast helpful, please share it with your friends who might also benefit from it. And remember, learning English is a journey, and you don't have to do it alone. We're here to help you every step of the way.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the English Learning Podcast. Keep practicing, keep growing, and keep speaking.
Take care, everyone, and good luck with your English learning journey.